Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Empire of the Full Moon, the show where I, your host Mike Cadaver, cover everything having to do with Charles Band's work from Empire Pictures, Full Moon Features, and beyond. Man, I'm going to go with that title from now on, or no, I'm not. Anyway. This episode we're going to be talking about yet another John Carl Buechler directed film named Cellar Dweller from 1988. And this time when I say we, I'm not talking about the royal we, which is always just me. I'm actually having a guest on the show to talk about it with me. And if any of you have taken a look at Empire of the Full Moon episode 3, where we talked about catacombs, then you'll remember Jeramy, super knowledgeable film fan, loves this kind of movie as much as I do, if not more. And he just knows so much about all this stuff. And it's nice to have another person that loves it, that has the appreciation for this kind of movie, and be able to have him on the show. So I'm pumped to have him on the show. But before he comes on, do me a favor, subscribe, tell your friends, subscribe. Just subscribe, will you please? That would make me very happy. And we just want to make the world a better place, folks. Anyway, okay, so let's just get right into it. It's kind of a longer episode. I'll play the trailer from Cellar Dweller 1988. We'll have him on to talk about it. Just so you know, there is a little bit of technical issue for some reason. So Zoom you can only have X amount of minutes on the free version. So we were on that. We talked about it, but the thing is it cut us off. So we redid the end, except for I might not have hit record, or the file. I just couldn't find the file. Anyway, but the biggest thing you missed is how to get a hold of him, which is on Instagram at Blood and Blue Rays. Blood _and_blue, BLU_rays. You kind of take off of the blood and black lace, but anyways, there you go. And let's get right into it. Here's the trailer.
That's the ghost of Colin Childress.
30 years ago, he butchered a woman with an axe and then set himself on fire.
It's dark, it's gloomy, it's filled with terror.
Don't even think about going down there.
So why can't people stay out of the cellar?
I love being frightened.
If you love to be frightened, then this cellar is the place to be. Innocent woman is terrorized. Her life becomes a nightmare when she won't stay out of the basement and is snared by the evil Cellar Dweller.
All right, everybody, we are back. You just saw the trailer for Cellar Dweller from 1988, and you will notice that I have a guest on the show. Like I said in the intro, his name's Jeramy. He is one of the biggest horror fans that I know. Huge fan of Charles Band, but also he's a huge fan of the Scream Factory Blu-ray that has Catacombs and Cellar Dweller, which is what we're talking about today, because the 2 times he's been on, he has chosen both those movies. So, Jeramy, how's it going?
Good. And that was totally unintentional. I did not mean to do that.
I saw that. It was so funny, man. I'm like, because it's been it's been almost a year. I think you were in September of 2024, right. So it's been a long time, right? But I'm like, no way did he do that.
How funny. I totally did not mean to do that. It's just the first film that I thought of would be fun to cover.
No, well, and you're right about that. So why did you choose this one? Out of all of the Charles Band movies, Empire, Full Moon, before all that, why this one?
Well, you covered a lot of ground already in the show, so
yeah,
it's starting to thin out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to do one that was memorable within the catalog, but still not like, the big bangers like Puppet Master or Ghoulies.
Sure. Yeah, I've yet to do those.
And, I have such a fondness for Cellar Dweller. It's been, probably 15, 20 years since I've seen it. So
yeah,
I definitely wanted to revisit it. So it's the first one that came to mind hit all the criteria, really.
Well, that's awesome. I actually have this on DVD. It's like a 4-banger I think it's the Scream Factory all night horror movie marathon that I got. Oh my gosh, so long ago with like Contamination 7, in Catacombs and one other movie, but I can't remember. But it is on the Blu-ray. Anyway,
Yeah. And that Blu-ray is actually worth a bit of money too.
no,
So
I looked at it because I saw that I didn't have it. So I'm like, oh shoot, well I should get that. Well, it turns out I shouldn't get that. At least
probably not. Good,
at
all things
least
considered.
not yet. So okay. So I'll get into the movie a little bit. We'll start talking about it. Like I said, Cellar Dweller from 1988. IMDb has this at a 5.1 with just around 3,400 ratings right now. It's got kind of a short runtime, just over an hour and 17 minutes. Directed by John Carl Buechler. And Jeremy, we love John Carl Buechler.
Yes, we do.
We have, I mean, I've already done a Dungeon Master, which he did one of the vignettes on, Troll from 1986. Still the great, this movie has a lot of great stuff on the wall, right? Like in the back of bedrooms or art studios, like posters of dolls or other stuff like that. But still, nothing is better than Troll having a painting of John Carl Buechler, that lady, and the toilet ghoulie
The ghoulie, yeah.
on the wall, which is amazing.
Isn't that ghoulie named Fish Guy or something? Something
Yeah,
of that nature?
something like that. Yeah, but I remember. So I did Troll in that. I never noticed that before. I died, man. It was this guy's. I love this guy. Obviously, he's passed away now, but
Yeah.
man, if he's on it, it's like I could do a whole show on John Carl Buechler. I'd probably run out of stuff. I mean, directorial because he only has 15 directorial credits, but
Right.
this guy has his fingers in everything.
Well, he did a lot of special effects work. I mean, that's what he's known for. So, any production he's going to do is going to be special effects heavy.
Right, and he was even in what are the later what's the Victor Crowley movies? Shoot, that just dumped out on my brain.
Ooh.
Adam Green, Victor Crowley. Oh,
Yeah, there's four of them.
yeah. I know
I wanna
one's
say-
called Victor Crowley.
That's the fourth one.
Yeah.
Those are good films. I mean, not to make an aside, but I
Oh,
like
I like them good. I like them good. Well, the thing is, it's like, I mean, let's be real. I watch a lot of a Full Moon and Empire Pictures, so I feel like I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to the movies. I just watched. Oh shoot, not to get too off the side, but I just watched Doom Asylum.
Mhm.
Man, that was bad, but it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Well, they got the special treatment on oh gosh, what label is that to put a not Vinegar Syndrome.
I think it was it. It was.
It's the British label.
Yeah, it's Arrow. It wasn't Arrow, was it? No, it was
It's
88.
Arrow, yeah.
Was it Arrow or was it 88? Okay, anyway.
Arrow has a pretty big special treatment on Doom Asylum, which does not deserve the treatment it gets.
It's like, you guys actually seen this movie? Anyway.
Right.
This movie was written by Don Mancini, a name that all horror fans should be well acquainted with, and we all, whether you know it or not, owe this man a great debt of gratitude for the many, many times that we've sat and watched Child's Play or Chucky movies. He is basically the creator. He has been directing stuff, but he's been writing it, and he's the guy, man.
Yeah, and you know what? Just as an aside, not to again go in the weeds with this, but Child's Play specifically holds a real special place in my heart.
Yeah.
My uncle, I'm 46, my uncle's 10 years older than me, and he took me to see Child's Play 2 in the theater, and I must have been like 11 or 12 at the time.
Well, those are
And
the
this
best
is
kind.
pre-digital film, so the film actually broke
Oh,
while
dude.
we were in the theater, and
Oh,
the
no.
lights went out, and my uncle turns to me, he's like, "Chucky's coming." And I split out of the theater. It took him like 15 minutes for him to get me back in the theater. It was
Oh,
like
man.
forever will be a memory that I will hold dear.
Oh, that
I
is
mean,
beautiful.
I remember the theater too. Is the Cinedome in Orange, California. Is
No
a
way.
great place. Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, that never happened to me. That would have been awesome. But you gotta love the older cousins or friends, older brothers taking you out to movies that like that's when I saw all the later Nightmare on Elm Street stuff like that when I was way too young. But in elementary school, all this stuff, it's like whatever. Anyway. So yeah,
And
we
now
all
that's why we're the maladjusted old men that we are.
You know what? Maladjusted, and if you can't even come at us for it, because it's not our fault. Okay, just kidding. It's our fault, kind of. Yeah, but we were set on the wrong path. Pardon me.
Duly so.
All right, so this starred Deborah Ferrantino as Whitney Taylor. This is her first feature-length film, and it was a beginning of her career. And at the same time, we had Yvonne DiCarlo as Miss Briggs. This is one of her final 10 films, best known for Lily Munster. Obviously, did you know that it only had 2 seasons of the TV show? That's 70 episodes, but still 2 seasons. And it's like, from what an impact it's had, I would have assumed way more than that. But
Oh yeah. on popular culture too. I mean, Yvonne
Right.
DiCarlo, as Lily Munster and the Munsters in general, like it generations and generations of,
Hmm.
car culture, horror
Yep.
culture, fashion. I
Yep.
mean, everything from, goth to rockabilly, all of that. I mean, they really all of it owes a debt to both the Munsters and the Addams family.
And just think about that. It's 60 years old now.
Right?
And it's there's it's still all over the place. But I mean they did do like other TV shows, special spin-offs, movies, stuff like that. But okay, it started. Brian Robbins is Philip Lemley. Do you remember Head of the Class, that sitcom back in the old
Oh
days?
yes, that's what I recognize him for, but he's been in a ton of
You know what's
stuff.
funny is that's the only thing I recognize him from.
He's been in Growing Pains, Mr. Belvedere,
All those.
Newhart, Kids Incorporated, Full
Oh my
House.
gosh.
He was in Chud 2, Facts of Life, Different Strokes, Charles in Charge, like every single banger except for maybe Miami Vice of the 80s.
He was in Bud the Chud.
He was in Bud the
I
Chud,
should have
yeah.
known that. I should. No, no,
And you do know what he does now, right?
no, I have no idea.
He was co-CEO of Paramount.
What?
He also ran Nickelodeon.
Are
He's
you
like a
serious?
huge exec and producer.
Well, I hope he does a better job at that than he does at painting. I mean, we'll get into that in a little
Yeah, the
bit.
figure painting.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's
that is crazy.
upper executive in Hollywood. Yeah,
Well, good for him.
Co-CEO of Paramount.
Good for him, man. I mean, I think that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Johnny Fever from WKRP, and he's now a high school teacher. I'm like, okay, we'll see that.
Hey, it takes a lot to make it in Hollywood and sustain it. So
Yeah, good. Yep. So Vince Edwards is Norman Mashleski. Cheryl Ann Wilson is Lisa. Jeffrey Combs, a name that everyone should all love and cherish and have heard 100 times on this show, as Colin Childress, and Pamela Bellwood as Amanda. Do you want to go over the plot? I've been talking a
yeah,
lot, man.
sure. And I just gotta say before I do that, like what a sweet spot, right? For 80s horror. I
Oh
mean,
my
you have
gosh.
Don Mancini, you have Charlie Band, you have John Carl Buechler, you have, all the
We have
actors
Lily
and
Munster. You have,
yeah, I mean it's
Tarantino and all this.
that Venn
You're right
diagram,
about that. You're right about that. It's like,
especially
how
for
did all this show up in Empire film?
right. Well, connections, right? Charlie Banza was a
Yeah, he's a
well-connected
man.
guy.
Yeah, he is.
All right, so let's see if I can do a little synopsis here. I gotta
Okay.
make a little on screen. All right. So Cellar Dweller, 1988, as we know, directed by Carl Buechler, written by Don Mancini, and produced by Charlie's Band, is a supernatural horror film set in a secluded art institute housed in a converted mansion. The story follows an aspiring comic book artist, Whitney Taylor, who enrolls at the school hoping to channel the spirit of her idol, Colin Childress, a famed artist who died mysteriously years earlier while working on a horror comic. As Whitney explores the cellar where Childress once worked, she unknowingly resurrects the dynamic creature from his comics, unleashing chaos.
Nice, man. And you know what's so funny is this is a pretty simplistic story, right? It takes place in one spot, and it's funny because they're so basically this new comic person, right? This what's her name? Whitney, I believe, right?
Yep.
So she's showing up. She goes to an artist compound, which sounds awful, by the way. Sounds awful to show up and then have to show off your art. I don't know. I'm not really an artist, so what would I know, right? But they go there. There's already two people that hate her guts in there. She shows up. She's got that against her, but she loves Cellar Dweller. She's in the one thing that I think that the one of the best things about this movie for me was the art that was going on in it, that was being created. You saw it being like drawn at the time, and that obviously that was not Ferrantino or Combs. It was actually Frank Bruner. And man, this guy'd worked for Web of Horror, Creepy, Eerie, Vampirella, did
Oh,
work with
okay.
Marvel, old school 70s stuff, right? So it's funny because you could see when he was actually drawing that stuff was going cool, but when we could see Jeffrey Combs drawing, he was like drawing over a black spot in the thing. But the thing is I mean, the irony is this, and tell me what you think about this. So I'm not like a huge comics fan, right? And which doesn't make sense to me, right? Because I love comic art. Like the art in this was superb, right? And cool stories. And but I don't know why I never really got into comics, especially horror comics.
Yeah, I mean, I dabbled a bit. I mean, as you know, growing up in the 80s, you can't really dodge comics, and
Right,
especially part
right.
of pop culture and, even horror culture. I mean, think Creep Show,
Yes.
think
Hmm.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, right? Like there's
Right.
the comic elements in there. It was really, really inundating pop culture. Maybe not as it is now with Comic-Con and
Well, yeah,
Marvel movies.
it's a whole different ball game now. You could
Yeah,
be a nerd
absolutely.
and not get your underwear ripped up around your ears.
I didn't really I wasn't huge into comics, but I definitely
Mm.
dabbled into comics, and I really did like the old EC comics
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
Tales from the Crypt, like anthologies when I could get a hold
Hmm.
of them, which is what they were really going for, I thought,
Right.
in
No,
this
it's yes, I
in
agree.
February. Although I did notice that the art style reminded me a bit more of like Iron Maiden covers,
Oh,
just the way
really?
that they,
Okay.
they kind of laid out. It was a little less of that creepy, eerie vibe. But I mean, apparently, if the artist did creepy and eerie, I'm totally off base on that. But no, I actually really liked the horror comics. I always felt them really unnerving and
It,
enjoyed them.
and it's funny because over the years I've collected them for as by way of gifts or this and that. And I have like a big stack of them, but I still need to go through them. And it's just like it's hard for me when I have so many movies on my to watch list that like I could watch my to watch list from here on out constantly. It's 8 hours a night to sleep, and I wouldn't be done till I'm dead.
Oh,
So it's like
absolutely. I keep
it's
telling myself I'm going to start the full core Severin box set, volume two,
oh my gosh,
and I have yet
yes.
to
I've
tackle
I
it.
haven't even touched it. It's like I haven't. Don't even get me started. I haven't even. Yeah, okay. Only got a couple with the Emmanuel box set that I bought like 3 years ago and all this other. It's like I haven't. It's like oh my. I just like to look at the boxes up on the
I
shelf.
feel
I
like,
guess apparently. So
but there's only so much time in the day, dude. Like you can't, you can't,
oh,
extend time.
well, which is unfortunate, but anyway. So okay. So let's talk about things that I'm going to start off by because I want to end on a positive note, right? I'm going to start off by a few things that were probably products of the time and budget constraints that were there, right? So I'm not saying it sucks. I'm not saying that at all. But there's a couple of things that I wish were we had this amazing monster, right? This like 6'8", like vampire werewolf yeti looking type thing, right?
Ghost.
Yeah, and it was great because it had like a pentagram carved into its chest, and it had like diodes in its face that were doing all that stuff and actually making it talk stuff. Yeah, and the thing is, I loved that so much. Like that is like an '80s kid's dream. I don't think I saw this when I was a kid. Like I think I was. I mean, maybe I was probably in my when I got that DVD like 2000 something. So I mean, I was already an adult, right? But watching that, this took me back to the purest of pure. The thing is we didn't get a ton of it, right? We didn't get. I wish that we just had some more. We had a little bit. We had a decapitation, beautiful. We
A
had.
slapitation.
So, you know what? That's a great word for it. And I wish one day to be that strong. And I wish somebody would help me try out for that too, because
I mean,
it,
either that or become Jason, punch someone's head off.
no, he's much too slow. Just that's the only reason I wouldn't be Jason. But no, but the only other thing is the story kind of seemed small. Like it seemed like it was an hour and 17 minutes long. But like you said, and tell me if I'm off base here. Um, okay, so number one, just so we're clear, I wish that we had a little bit more of the monster, right? Because basically it was formula, okay, she draws something about somebody she hates or thinks about it, and then the monster comes and kills that person, and then on to the next one, right? So that's number one. I wish we just had more of that. Number two, it seemed to me to be like I've been kind of making it through the Tales from the Crypt, the TV series, right? I think this would have made a perfect episode for that, right? Or even better, it maybe we could have had the Crypt Keeper come out for 5 minute intro and then stuff like that, and make it full length stuff like that. But the thing is it just seemed like it was a perfect little. I mean, I guess it wasn't really a like a, there's a, I mean, not that every episode is, but kind of like a lot of those episodes are like a morality tale, right? And not all of them, but some of them, right? And this, I don't know if this hit on a specific like tale about that, but it just seemed to be in that, to live in that same space that these episodes did. Do you agree or no?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's kind of like the golem,
Yeah. Mhm.
mythos, if you
Yeah.
think about it. Like
Yep.
it's just a take on the golem. Um,
I didn't think
which
about
is
that before. That's good, by the way.
great, which is a great trope that's
Hmm.
reused a lot in horror film. But you could tell they really stretched it out. There was
Yes.
definitely scenes that
Yeah.
were unnecessary or went on for far too long.
Hmm.
It would have made a good, hour television or
That's
45
what
minute
I'm.
television
That's
episode.
exactly what I think.
And it also had that kind of downbeat ending, not to give too much away.
That was a bizarre ending,
it,
right?
it just kind of fizzled, right? The way that it goes, not to get ahead of ourselves,
Mhm.
but I absolutely agree. I mean, it didn't occur to me, but now that you say it, absolutely, it feels that way. But it was padding. Obviously, they made the
Mhm.
best with the resources that they had. If we recall back to our conversation about this year when they made it, 88, it was kind of the end of
Yeah.
Empire, and
Hmm.
resources were bad. The bank was trying to
Hmm.
recoup its losses and all that. So they probably didn't have much money to work with, which shows in the set and the cast of five, right?
Well, and that's what I mean. That's why I said, because I don't want to go out and say it sucked and but that's why I wanted to make sure that everyone knows that I assume that this is a product of its circumstances with time and budget. But even though that monster, awesome. Anyway,
Well, and keep in mind they had, Beekler. I'm sure he had a
that's
hand in
true.
creating them. In fact, it looks
No, he
exactly
did.
like Beaker's
He,
work, Beekler's work.
yeah, he did put it together. So for sure.
I mean, if it to me it looks like a cross between the fish guy Ghoulie and
Yeah.
the cat Ghoulie, right? But just in
Yeah.
big size.
Yeah. Except for, yeah, giant. No, you know what? Good for you. You know what? It's funny because I didn't put that together, but you're right, man. It's like because it's kind of gross, hairy, just like those little like the rat ghoulie, because it's always kind of like damp and just kind of slimy a little bit, but not, I don't know, man. Beekler can do no wrong in my opinion.
I agree
And
100%.
it's like
I
this.
love the articulation and since we're talking about the
Yeah,
monster, I love the
yeah,
articulation in his eyes. You could tell, I mean, it was obviously you have to suspend disbelief because it looks like a puppet. But even I would have loved to see more of it too. And in fact, I was a little bummed out that they kept reusing the scenes where he was eating flesh
chewing
on
when he was
every kill.
chewing. Yeah, that was, yeah. That
Because
was
for the
my
most
that was
part,
my number three.
oh, sorry to
No,
steal your
no, no.
thunder on that one.
Do not be sorry. Now it's over. That's all I wanted to say about it.
But totally agree. The monster was great. Would have loved to see more of it, and
Mhm.
it definitely gives that sense of like monster movie of the week,
Yes.
80s vibe that we also love because that was our childhoods.
But having said all that, right? Having said all that, I am not going to ever sit here and tell you that a creature feature like this is, with because I mean, the actors, I mean, was it the best acting in the world? Maybe, sure. I mean, it wasn't bad. It didn't like, I mean, it wasn't like Doom Asylum, but no, it was fine. I think they all did a decent job, and the thing
Yeah.
is, and the monster was cool. So it's not as if this was trash. I do not think that. I think this is kind of a heartwarming, not the story so much, but just looking back at the monster, at the care that it went into it, I mean, Jeffrey Combs, whenever he's on screen, he's just a little guy too. I love that too. I met him and I'm like, what? But bottom line is just like he puts this thing into it. Whitney Ferrantino did a great job. I mean, and even I mean, I even did not like Lily Munster. She was just mean in it. Kind of. But it's like you have this all together. They put this together. You can tell that it was low budget. You can tell that it was not going to be this amazing, like for instance, Reanimator or From Beyond. But at the same time, it just hits that heart that right there that that you could tell they're doing it, and I loved it, and that's what I loved about it, and I think that's really the main reason why I love this. Now, does that translate to people who are watching it for the first time now, or doesn't have that nostalgia from the 80s?
I mean, probably not, but you know what? I agree with you again, 100%. If you set out to make a movie and do the best you can with the
Yeah.
resources you have, it's going to show. It's a reason why films like Birdemic work,
Yes.
even though they don't work. Or it's a reason why films like Zombievers work,
Yep.
even though they don't work.
Yes.
They're not great films. They're not masterpieces by any stretch of the imagination, but they have this ethos and heart and effort put into them that they do the best they can with what they have. And you got to love those kind of movies. I love highbrow. I love
Sure.
French New Wave and
Sure.
every art aesthetic film you could probably put out there. But I also really love the turds that have a heart.
Do you know what's funny is I was actually talking to my daughter today about we just both watched Happy Gilmore 2, right?
Okay.
And her fiance hates Adam Sandler, just hates him, right? And he likes these really classy movies that move you, right? That really pull on your emotions and really can like change a person's outlook on life. And it's like I like it. I like a movie like that. I don't like a movie like that every time I watch a movie because everyone's like I mean I'll say it, I enjoyed it. Shoot, what we got? I enjoyed Happy Gilmore Part Two, right? It like really, I loved it. I thought it was great. I mean, it was silly, was it stupid? Sure, it was stupid, but I laughed, you know. And the thing is I don't like what I watched Parasite, the South Korean film.
Oh, the Bong Joon Ho film.
Yeah, like I bought it. I bought it when it came out because it just won the Oscar, right? And I bought it and on Blu-ray, and I'd never gotten around to watching. I watched it, and I'm like, dang, that's a good one, right? But you can't watch that all the time. Every once in a while, you need a Happy Gilmore too. It's like, I mean, I talk about it too. It's like, you know what? Sometimes you just want a burger and fries instead of, this nice meal of caviar, like I'm eating caviar or something like that. But you know what
Well, and
you get what
sometimes
I'm
you just
saying.
want to watch the menu.
Hell yeah, man. That's exactly right.
No,
I don't know.
I'm with you 100%. Like, there's room in this world for, powder puff, and there's room for, the most highbrow that you can get, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I enjoy it all.
Well, I mean, in I feel like you'd be missing out. I listen, I don't know. This is my perspective. I get everyone's different, and I get my future son-in-law is like a really um like cerebral guy, right? And it's just so I'll talk to him and we'll be joking around. I was like, bro, you ever laugh? Because I'm funny. And what I just told you, I promise you that's funny. And I'm gonna be your father-in-law, so you better start laughing. Stuff like that. But we'll laugh and stuff like that. But no, the thing is too, is I forgot to mention one of my favorite things in this whole movie. So I've got some advice for you artists out there. I've got some advice for anybody who is drawing comic art, who's doing any kind of painting. Okay. Maybe don't leave the Necronomicon, a book of spells, and don't be reading through that as if when you're doing your art, because obviously, from what we know about the Necronomicon, bad things happen. And so that's basically how it came alive, and it cracked me up.
That applies to archaeologists as well.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
don't leave your root
absolutely.
cellar
You
full
stay
of
in the root
Necronomicon.
cellar. Yes.
Did you catch the kind of and maybe this is just me, but did you catch like the facade of the building had an uncanny resemblance to the cabin in Evil Dead?
No, I did. I didn't really think that. No, I'll have to
Yeah,
check
it,
that
it, it
photo.
had it had that Evil Dead vibe, the cabin in Evil Dead vibe, and I totally made a note of it because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's. And then you have the Necromonicon kind of connection.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they're pulling from that. And why is it that every Jeffrey Combs film has to have like this Lovecraft reference? I don't get how he got pegged with that.
Well, I feel like it's because he got on early with Stuart Gordon, and so he became that guy, right?
Right.
I mean, look how many Lovecraftian movies Lovecraft movies that he's made that define his career. Reanimator, From Beyond,
Right.
even Necronomicon. He played. They just came out with that Blu-ray? I've had or the 4K, I think, and I
Of
can't remember what it's
Necromonicon?
of Necronomicon, and it's like I need to get that because that is an
It was out of
under.
print forever.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like it is. I love that movie, and I have it on VHS. And it's like to me, it's like one of the very greatest. Anyway, long story short, the one last thing I'll say is a bunch of people for being in an art commune suck at art, except for the comic artist. You'll have to watch the movie to understand what I'm thinking about. But yeah,
You don't think the interpretive dance was just the most
bro.
highbrow
Bro, that's
performance
one of those
ever?
parts that I was like, can we just fast forward through this? I know we're trying to pad the time, but we don't. She doesn't need to stab all the balloons. Yeah,
Well, it was obviously meant to be like hyperbole and ironic.
sure. No,
They're
of
taking
course.
a piss of high art. And I used to work at an art gallery slash museum
Oh, really?
when I was younger, and I was actually telling my son this. He's 8 years old. He thought this was hilarious that we had an artist there. I'll refrain from using his name, but one of his pieces was a mirrored wall, and he taped theoretically or supposedly a diamond. I don't know if it was a real diamond or not, but he
Mm-hmm.
cellophane taped the diamond to the mirror, and that was his piece. And people would just spend hours in front of this thing. Like this is the most fantastic art piece that they've ever seen. And
Okay.
keep in mind, this is in Southern California, in an art museum, so people have their heads up their asses when it comes to
Bro, I live in
being.
a flyover state, okay? So I don't understand that.
But yeah, that to me is like endemic of how facetious some art can be. I love art. I painted for a long time.
Uh-huh.
I can be a bit esoteric in my art interests as well.
Mhm.
Um, but that to me was just absurd.
That cracks me. That's like that the commercial with the banana taped to the wall. But it's
Yeah,
like, but
that was a real art piece too.
that's, oh, are you serious? I thought it was just some
Yeah,
commercial.
someone paid like an astronomical amount of money for that piece too.
That's wild to me. That I don't have that much money. Okay. I don't know if I will ever have that much money.
No, you if you put all of us together, we wouldn't have that much money.
I feel like a film like this, and I mean, you can call it what you want. You can call it a B horror movie. You can call it, a cult class, whatever you want to call it. I feel like there's a lot of artistry in this, even though number one, this was made. We know Charles Band. He's there to make money, right? But the thing is Charles Band could make money a ton of different ways. What he decides to do is, I mean, when you're out there making movies that are only horror or sci-fi or fantasy, like he doesn't make like, I mean, he made kid movies, but they're all still in like the fantasy realm at least, right? But the thing is, you can, if you are a filmmaker, you can make money to a bigger audience. He knows his audience, and he knows that the movies that he's going to make, he needs to make money. But I feel like he still puts a great artistry into it, and I think John Carl Buechler with this did a great job. You know, I think the obviously the monster effects, that's an art in and of itself. And it's just, you gotta love it. Yeah, it's not high end art. It's no banana on a wall,
On the
but
wall, take
there
the
you
wall.
go.
But it shows that he really did care because he could have gone the Golden Globus route
That's what
and
I'm
only
saying.
done like low budget American Ninja style action films, and that
Yes,
would have churned money in all day from the video store rentals.
and this,
Granted, horror was also a cash cow, and it's usually the cheapest of genres. But not when you have special effects, not when you have big monster suits.
yeah, but think about this too. So he's done that his whole career. I mean, like he could have just like who was it? Matthew McConaughey one time was talking about, hey, every time I make a movie, I name like Sahara, and I get a bunch of money for it, then I can make all these other movies that I actually like. And it's like I don't think Charles Band ever had what was it, Sahara? I think that he's just been plugging away with what he loves to do, and that's why I do this show, to be honest with you, because it's like I admire that quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
He chooses to do that, and it's like, I mean, I don't know, man. I find it inspiring, even though it's not even what I want to do for a living or anything like that. But I find it inspiring, and I love it.
I mean, it just goes to show where there's a will, there's a way. And he's kept grinding it out. I mean, to this day, he's still making movies, even though he's probably not making a killing like he used to.
No, and
With
but he's also been very smart with the different ways he can, um, the diversifying of his like the toys and the streaming, and now these Church of Chills that are going on, stuff like that. And I don't know, I love it. Obviously, I love it a lot. So
Yeah, I same. But I think if you put 10 horror fans in a room together, we'd probably nine of us would say the same thing,
yeah,
right?
no, I agree. I agree, and I know that I know a lot of viewers for on this channel are big. I mean, I don't feel like I'm bringing in a bunch of people who are like, oh, what is Full Moon? What is Empire? Who is Charles Band? I feel like I'm kind of hitting the people who love it already. So, anyways, you
But
have
you know
my
what?
undying love.
There's going to be kids out there who are going to discover it later on and go back to these resources where people, old men like us, are talking about it and
Dude, and I
encourage
love it.
them to.
Like, never
Absolutely.
never made a penny, never whatever, and I just love it.
So real quickly, I just want to bring up like they were definitely going for that Lovecraft
Yeah.
vibe. I feel because they even reference Rhode Island, which is where
Yeah.
Lovecraft is
Okay.
from.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's like undeniable, even though it's not like outright.
Sure.
Just all these little peppered in things. I also really liked all the film noir references. They referenced,
Yes.
Raymond
Yes. Yep.
Chandler, and the kind of hard-boiled detective in was it Ramon? What was the
Oh
the
yeah,
actor's name?
with the mustache. Oh, he is. Let me look. Yeah, where are we at
But
there?
but yeah, I mean his character to me I thought was like the thinnest. He was so over the top in his delivery, but I
Yeah,
loved it too all the same.
yeah, yeah. He didn't
Because
get much screen time, much backstage time, but
and why the hell was he shooting off live rounds in the house?
dude, you don't ask questions like that for movies like this.
It's true.
All right.
This is true.
Just so you know, we are at less than a minute right now until we pop off. So before this whole thing ends, because it's a free Zoom account, do you want to let people know where they can find you and all that stuff, or have any last words?
Yeah, well, first off, I mean, just got to say my favorite scene in the whole
Okay,
movie
sorry.
was when the first kill happened and the banana peel was introduced.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you
It
have the Looney
appeared
Tunes sounds.
on everybody. There you go. Thank you for checking it out. Again, Jeramy, you find him on Instagram at blood_and_blue BLU_rays RAYS. As always, go check out corpsecollective.com. We got podcasts, we got videos, we got articles, anything you want to do there. But yeah, check it out. I also have all my social links linked from there, so check that out too. Anyways, that's all we got. So catch you guys later.